Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. So, I'm here to do a very quick update. These are all important, but I do want to say one thing. One thing would be don't, think of energy as inside you. You want to breathe and relax and put yourself in a meditative state, mindfulness state, where you are feeling your wholeness instead of trying to pull things in to you in a certain way. You want to have that you just want to be, right? That's important because it takes practice to just be at a place where you have that. Environmental things can um, affect that. So I was recently told, as recent as yesterday, I've had a communication with the Orion group, and I'm gonna link a past video that I found. There are a few that I wanted to link, but this one I took the time and I quickly just picked the one I thought it would be out of all of them, and that's the right one. I thought it'd be a better one, so that I can put these two things together for you, and then you can analyze the whole situation as you see fit. So um, there'll be two videos, and then there's one that helps me ground. It's a connection to your higher self. That's grounding. That's kind of the energy that I've been feeling today. I've been feeling a lot of anxious energy, a lot of fear. There's been energy around me today that's felt um, just off. You know, you're just very attuned to your surroundings and your awareness, and you don't necessarily have to block that energy out because it'll just be there, but it wouldn't affect your aura. It wouldn't affect this energy around you. It isn't going to affect your soul, right? It's just going to tap into you, but it's not going to blend like oil and water. They can be in the same place but not necessarily have that kind of connection. So this is a good way for us to keep in touch because you're connecting with yourself, therefore your higher self and your future self. Okay. So I really enjoy this very much. Feels good to be here with you guys and I can share my energy with you. Because little did you know, it's an Earth mission. The word mission itself, the journey to raise a consciousness of a planet is very um, taxing task because you're among humanity, and you're a person just like anyone, and you chose this to be of service more than anything. And it has its up and down. Should you live a human life or do you want to continue to make this planet grow? And what we are all, in general, are, we're just like step down transformers, right? Meaning we've um, accept energy, it comes down, and then we have a huge aura, if you will. Like I said at the beginning of this video, a lot of people get anxious, they get nervous, um, their energy around you and them interchange, and you bring them out of their frequency a bit, just enough to raise their vibration. And there's millions of people doing this all over the world. So there isn't any, there's people in Spain and in Gibraltar, Italy, um, Portugal, all around, you know. And it's at first difficult to harness your very own energy and compare it to the difference between you and your surroundings. One way to do this, it's see if you can find a book about the Buddha, and it's probably going to be like 300 or 400 pages. But think about all the steps that he took himself to be ascended. Um, and I had the luxury of meeting someone that was all into Greek and culture and things like that, and he'd have books, and I asked him a lot of questions about it, and I didn't necessarily have to read the book. I was just lucky that that came to me when it needed to come to me, so I could know. Basically, the Buddha put himself through um, strenuous things, not eating just 1 grain of um, rice a day to achieve enlightenment. He knew something was there, right? But he just didn't know how to attain it. There's also he would meditate at all times, or he'd be out in the sun, or he put it himself through some sort of suffering or pain kind of kind of way, just like poverty or something like that. If you want to think, if you want to think modern present times, think of what Gandhi put himself through in that sense of thought and action that he did for himself, which is one way to do it. There's plenty of ways to do this. So, what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is that realization that there's something more about what's going on. And I have a message from Orion, and because we're emissaries on Earth, we are here to report back and bring this message to you, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the mountains and in any of those states. Doesn't matter if you're, in a mountainous area, or it doesn't matter if you're in the valley or in Washington State or Montana or wherever you might be. Just listening to this, you're going to get this Orion message that I'm going to give out to the whole world because you're asked to evaluate how you see humanity, and that's what I'm being asked to do right now. So I'm just not rambling on here, it's giving you guys a message. I'm going to report, as it's my duty to report and evaluate the presence on Earth. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are going through the same thing, unconsciously and subconsciously, telepathically or not. You'll get through that. Okay, so enlightenment is the realization that there's something more that pretty much throws you out of balance, and you you regular people would think that you're a little off or a little weird, or you're just too involved in your own thoughts, or you're just you know you're there, but you're not there. You're not participating in normal human activities, and I don't know what that is. But when I sit at the seat of my soul each time, it's easier when you grow up to participate as you feel comfortable, right? Because you're not here to make anybody feel any better for themselves. That's part of humanity's issues. And I'll get to that in a second, right? Then I'll give you a few tips of a few things that a few tips of, I'll give you a few tips of my thought patterns about how I reached enlightenment too. But my enlightenment had started in August 8th, 2004, I think, or 2003 or something like that. Um, it was a Lionsgate, and I felt my heart just really warm and hot, and it was just. And I remember I was gonna visit my brother. He lived in Pennsylvania, And on the ride there, it was just like if I felt like I was inside a hot bubble, and I was creating that energy, and it was just kind of coming out, right? And the person that was next to me driving, they felt something. They were just like, whoa, and they're trying to get my attention to see if I start a conversation or start talking to them because they feel anxious and they feel nervous when they're around this energy that they just don't understand. They don't know what's it about, and it, the purpose of that is to raise someone's frequency, but also it's to um, have them realize that the energy comes from within, right? And it goes outwardly. We live in a world that has you programmed to go through college, start education, and shun out all these very natural abilities that you have. So that's what my illumination story might be. And that kind of stuff for kids is easier, but as you grow older, I think people still have that kind of ability. They just push it out for themselves. They don't interact with it. It's like being afraid of your own shadow, right? It's really sad to me to you know see a civilization that's just beginning to come out of things, and we're participating in their ascension. And as the frequency starts to increase, because the frequency on the planet is increasing, and one way I can tell for myself is that when I feel joy and bliss like the greatest person in the world, and I'm walking on a cloud, and it's just the most amazing feeling that you have for yourself. And I know you might be thinking like uh, hard work and success and building something for yourself, but you can have both. It's just a matter of who are you interacting. Who are those people that you have to push away from you so that you can be in your own center of happiness. If you believe that you need someone else specifically to be happy or attain a certain object or acquire a certain house to be or feel happy, there's always going to be someone else that you might think is happier or better off because they just have that one other luxury that you don't have. Becomes this cycle, and in retrospect, it's not related directly to the person or the environment. It's just that maturity of that soul just isn't there for you to want or acquire these things. Putting it in perspective or in another way, if you've incarnated 8, 10, 12 times in this planet, and you've been in a situation where you might have been, you know, a king in Sumeria, or you might have been a peasant in Egypt, or you might have had a shop in Ethiopia, and you were a shop owner, or you've owned slaves in Babylonia. You carry yourself in a certain way because you have this understanding of who you are as a person, even if that doesn't shine out, even if you don't remember your past incarnations. It matters to know that there are plenty of brand new souls on this planet trying to go through an ascension process again and again and again. And Earth is going through an ascension process. It's like saying, hey, you know what? We can only go to a certain planet once every 10 years, and it's going to swing around in a couple of years. Everybody's going to buy a ticket to go on that rocket and get on that ship so that you can go to this said planet. And I'm paraphrasing when I mean that it's an ascension jump that you're going and you're taking this um, to where you need to be, right? You're going, and not everybody can go. It's just not gonna happen, right? You'll wait until next time, and again and again and again, because it happens so frequently. Uh, so my I've been in my astral body recently a lot, which is great. Um, I'm just not able to remember the things that I've seen or the people that I spoke to or the conversations that we had. Uh, and yeah, I mean, it just feels great when you're with your family on the ship, and you know you're with your family on the ship, and you're there, and you're having the chat, you're talking, you're looking, when you come back to Earth, when you wake up in this matrix, you're so refreshed and you're so calm. It's just like taking a break from all this and saying, "Oh, geez, I need a break. Let's go out and make ourselves feel better again." So, traveling is not a bad thing, and it's just you'll reach a point where you'll be feeling great. You sit at the seat of your soul. You feel amazing, and you have that knowledge that you need to carry yourself, and you can conduct yourself in a very normal and natural human way. Just live out the human experience and do things that you like. Do service to self and do service to others. Whatever your knack is, whatever makes you feel happy, you just do whatever makes you feel happy. Don't bother yourself with what other things about you, because at the end of the day, you're going to be sitting somewhere in a wheelchair, living your later years wondering, what if, why didn't I do this, or I should have been more this and that. When I sit around a lot of elderly people, I always like to hear their story because usually they're similar stories, and you validate or you might change your perspective on how life might be later on for you, and how do you want to be remembered, and what are the things that you want to leave in a positive, enduring, um, legacy for yourself, and not even maybe not for others to know about you, but just for yourself. You want to feel happy in that. That's why we have our young children that are growing up and they need to be taught. And then we have our elderly, which are there to teach those that are bringing up the kids, so that we can have a very positive cycle on how things are going to go. So, this is the society that I envision for myself and how I expect to carry myself, which I've been carrying myself like this for a very long time. Okay, so yeah, that's about enough for that. Oh, no, this isn't good. No, sorry about that. Okay, see if I can mute this thing. All right. So the Orion Council is going to transition to more control over the Pleiadians and how they're going to handle the ascension process on Earth. So Earth has Earth isn't even really at an equal level with how an ascension process should go. It's made some very positive strides in the last couple of years. Within the last 4 years, it's made great progress from the beginning of step that um, but from the beginning of that process 4 years ago, it's beginning to get and make itself better. I know. Yeah. It's beginning to make itself better in that way. And the Orion Council is asking about those that have experience on Earth. They'll ask them, and they want to know what they think about the progress of humanity on Earth, and then the handover to the Pleiadians. And there are a lot of things that I have thought out to myself about where this process is going. I'm going to link that video, and I haven't forgotten about that. I'm going to end this video in a minute. I don't want you guys to be here for long. You probably have something to do. Have a whole ton of things to do. But the council said, or my feedback to the Orion Council before the change over to Pleiades is, humanity is still very primitive, right? And the ET tech that they have sequestered away, it gives a sort of empowerment over those that don't know anything about exopolitics, um, or don't have that. ability to comprehend. So this is where it's going to go really bad for those that are holding on to this tech. Um, what's going to happen is they're going to be responsible for letting these uh, individuals carry out slowly how they're going to manifest and show that there's been tech here for all that long. And from there, we might just get a really bad crowd of people that are saying, "Why didn't you have this before? Why didn't you let us know that this is possible?" And since they're holding on to it, that are they're the ones that have to start releasing this slowly. Now, you know, so they're holding on to this primitive technology. It makes them think that they're above uh, the normal population, and that that's unfortunately really bad in that case. This is exactly what I thought about telling them. How I'm telling you guys about the Orion Council, and since today, I just felt that the general energy of Earth, humanity, right now, what I can feel that's around here in my surroundings is either two things. So it's either the vibrations are getting higher and higher and higher. It's what I think, because I feel very calm and peace in my heart, even though I feel like the whole world around me it's falling apart, and that's a five-dimensional way of thinking where we're all thinking about the same thing. Or I see it as a primitively humans are just not ready yet to start talking about other worlds, other lives, right? Other beings, visitors from outer space. They're not ready for that yet because as a collective they're holding back. And right now I feel anxious. I can tell that they have fear. um it's like a jump scare movie where something's gonna happen and they're just not sure what's gonna pop out at them next, and that makes them nervous, right? um that's probably how the energy feels for me right now. So if you've been watching my videos long enough, I did say once that I felt that you guys have passed the test. If you remember me saying you've passed the test, you did great. That was just for a small section of humanity that actually understands and gets these things, right? And they're at a similar level. They're almost there. They get it. But I'd have to give humanity, in my point of view, and just my vote when it comes to the Orion Council, looking at this, is that it's a failing grade for the general population towards whatever their goal was with this poll that they're doing. So I'm just realizing to you that this is actually something that's happening, and a lot of people are unaware. But decisions are being made about the progress of humanity. I can go on and give you information, but it might just be really depressing for you to hear the things that I have to say now. So let's see. I'll make another video and I'll put in details about the first half of the video that I'm gonna post in my link. It's what's relevant because I don't really saw that much, and it felt like that was enough explaining about what I'm talking about here, so you can mesh those two things together. And I'll post another link or two, maybe you'll see in the description about I don't know, things that I might find relevant. Hope you guys have a great rest of the afternoon. Maybe these energies are past and we'll be on the other side thinking differently with a fresh mind, and then just taking the steps that we need to move forward with this. But You guys have a great evening, and I have a ton of things to do. So take care, and I do have a whole wide a range. I have a whole wide content and things that I can just deliver freely. There's nothing holding me back. So enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Take care, and I'll make that next video. I'll put it together as best as I can to clarify, maybe depending on your Q&A and what is it I feel is relevant for you to say. But I don't want to fearmonger with what I'm thinking about right now. I'm going to give that a few days. I'm just going to let it simmer out and then give you my evaluation of the general humanity, if they really are just in fear, or I don't know, just give you my perspective on what I think is going on in a little more detail about what's going on in these very interesting times. Guys, have a great evening. Take care, and I'll see you soon.